Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Sal in the building, man. I'm here. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode, I think 279. I forgot to put it in the title. Thank you so much for joining me. I gave you guys a day off. I know you'd be with your lovely ladies or lovely ladies for some of you. And we're back to wrap up the week. Good to see some bullish sentiment come back into the market as we've had a really good couple of days here coming back, starting from beginning of this week toward the end, really kind of starting like Friday of last week. We kind of started to come back into the green here. Solid candlesticks for today across the board, SPY as well as the NASDAQ. Good tickers. We'll talk today. I got hit up by Mr. Lloyd. He's got an option for us he wants to discuss. Of course, we'll talk about pennies. Really interesting hit piece coming out today on Tim Sykes, on Warren Buffett. Sentiment is really changing, when we talk about Warren Buffett. For a long time, he's been the darling of Wall Street. But we know that there's been really, a growing inequality, growing amount of inequality, massive divide in this country between rich and poor. And sentiment is really changing when we look at Warren Buffett. And today, interesting hit piece that really went viral. I'll share that link with you guys today in the chat room. We'll get to that. And of course, we'll get to your tickers. We'll get to your tickers and stocks that you guys are looking forward to. I had a few computer issues the last show around. I forgot to show you guys a interesting new company that's on the OTC side. Ticker symbol GMBL. Very, very low float. Supposedly this company is going to be doing something. Again, I'm not affiliated at all with that. It's just a favor to a friend. He's got a little video he wants me to show you. I'll show you guys that video. All right. Shout out to, again, all the people in the chat room. Fisher G, what's up? Norman Powell. Wande Casa, doing great, sir. Benny B, Stock Z, Chris Steele, or Chris Style. Skyline, Seymour, Random Stock Run, Jim Gray, K Mac, Juan Diaz, what's up, man? Rob Stratton, Jeff Thayer, Stockefeller, Dr. Butterfly, hello. JT the Bullhead Trader, B. Ken the Barber, Monk Man, George M. I see Dr. Butterfly in there. I shared a really interesting set of videos that I'd already, I had in my Google Drive. I'll share that with you guys too as well. I've had it maybe for about a year or so. I posted it to my Google Drive. A few people in my email I knew would I think benefit from it. I'm going to share that with you guys. So you'll have access to those videos in my Google Drive. I suggest you download those videos because every time I put out free, DVD type quality information, I always ended up getting flagged because I think the haters just hate the fact that I put out so much fucking content for free like this. And so go ahead. I'm going to give it to you. Make sure you download it on your own computer and study it when you have time. All right. What's going on, Dave Thomas? Dave Thomas in the building. Ace Roland Shaquille. Yes, indeed. So let's get to it. Let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, great day. For the most part, a lot of the large caps were up. I didn't see too much excitement on the OTC side. If I'm confused or if I missed something, please let me know. But for the most part, we saw a slight bounce because we've seen a bounce in Bitcoin. GBTC, a stock that had a forward split. Let me get out of my paper trade here. 1 second. Let me get out of here. It's an old account. All right. GBTC, forward split, sold off, and now it's bouncing back because Bitcoin is bouncing back. So shout out to the guys who are in GBTC. I wish I could short it. I had said that several times. Looking at it now, probably can't, but nice bounce here in Bitcoin these last couple of days. I don't know if this could be a situation where, these guys are just getting bull trapped as we saw Bitcoin rising from the fives. Ken, I think that was you calling. Call me back, Ken. Call me back, Ken. I'll have you on the air. OTC was pretty dry. Okay, all right. I figured. I thought I wasn't the only one. OTC was pretty dry today. 646, Ken, you're on the air. What's up? Hey, Ken, are you there? Go ahead and lower the...
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, how's it going? How are you?
Good. Ken, what did you trade today? What you have?
Yeah, there was excitement. ANDI, look at it. Apple, Nancy, David Ice. It's almost still the gap.
Let me see here. ANDI, yeah, didn't pick up my scanner. I think I was looking for the big breakout, but regardless, 6.7% isn't bad for any venue, and ANDI with a 6.7% gain today. And yeah, you had the big drop a couple days ago, as if it was at least like trading like a large cap. But since then, it's gotten back to look like it might test that high here any day now. So nice play on ANDI.
Thank you. This is guy on iHub, Ricardo. He has some software, and he's predicted in the last 3 times the move, these nice moves. So
let me guess, is he selling the software?
I don't know what software it is he's using, but he's predicting it to get to around 5 cents in the next between now and Tuesday.
Okay, we'll see if it does, because he'd like to maybe tell us what that is if he is knocking it out like this.
Yeah. So another good day. Look at the market. We made up at least more than half of the loss we had a week or so ago.
Yeah, we've really done a good job of making that up. I'm going to pull up some tickers that, especially on the option side, the large cap side, that are really killing it. We can see stocks like Apple and Nvidia,
oh my God, yeah,
and Amazon. I haven't even pulled those up yet. We'll pull those up here in the show, and it's incredible to see the kind of bounces they're doing now back to where they were before the fall. And that's why the sell-off was an incredible buying opportunity. I figured, I said, look, in 2 weeks we're gonna see this sell-off as an incredible opportunity for somebody who was smart enough to go in with a spread. There are a couple stocks I went in, Netflix being one of them, with a really solid spread. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year, but I think this is an opportunity guys can look back on and say, hey, if they were smart, they went long here, and I think it was an opportunity to get some calls really cheap.
I definitely do. Can I give you another one? The BYOC that I had loved a while back came back. Remember, it jumped about 14, 15, came back down to 9, and it looks like it's slowly moving back.
Yeah, BYOC putting up still decent volume. I had kind of written the stock off after the sell-off. I figured, like many other OTC stocks, they run, people get caught into the momentum. Eventually the story starts to get old, and when the story gets old, guys who are holding decide to sell. And who's going to be there to pick up those shares? But obviously somebody was here to pick that up on BYOC, and, you saw it hold that, 8 cent level pretty well, and now we're at 10 cents a share.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes. There'll be more news soon about another acquisition. That's the rumor. FUSC was another one that made a really nice move from the high 20s to it's 60 yesterday afternoon. Today it's it's selling off. Thoughts on that? Where the support would be?
Well, Ken, tell me a
Small
little.
float.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about this company. What exactly do they do? I know you had brought it up last week, but are you familiar with the line of business?
Give me a sign. Not. God, I can't think.
Let me see here
Let me
real
look.
quick. FUSZ.
FUSC.
I'm seeing it.
They have like these big contracts they're going to have with Oracle and these other. I mean, that's what's being talked about.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing
these
articles here labeled as blockchain and, looks like some kind of connection with iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Which is
digital advertising, right?
Okay, interesting stuff. All right.
It has a small float.
All right.
And 43% of it's controlled by insiders, as was talked about as well. Had a hell of a run.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye on it. But I'm looking at the
keep an eye on
chart
that
here, and I mean, it held this 40 cents today really well. Your low was 42 cents, which was the low of the stock. Am I right? Yes, 42 cents was the low, and you had guys buy that. So it looks like they've decided on this run up that could be the floor moving on. Closed just above that low, so we'll see how it bounces and responds. Moving forward. But it's got to hold.
And one more.
It's got to hold that.
It has to hold it, right? I mean, it's made a hell of a move, so I might have to digest for a little while. ATOS that I mentioned to you yesterday, tweeted to you, because it broke above 65 in the middle of the day. That was your buy point, I believe you had said on the show on Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely. We broke above it yesterday, and the buyers committed to it. But then we saw a little bit of hesitation, today as that stock hit 60 cents. So, but still found a way to get back above, 66 cents. I honestly believe, if it can stay up there, it had been playing with 66 cents for the last several days. So to see it now finally 2 days in a row commit to these levels, now it's got to build on that, right? It's not too, it's not too hot. We're 62, 61 there on the RSI. So you got plenty of momentum that it can use to bounce off of this. But volume has been drying a little bit, but still decent volume. 9 million shares traded today, a 69-cent stock. That's a lot of money being poured in here. So there's a lot of upside, I think, left in ATOS. But, we'd love to see, of course, guys not hesitate so much at these levels.
And they had some conference call at 7 p.m. tonight, but it didn't really help it in after hours. It closed, I think, 68 in after hours. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. That's it for tonight. I'm exhausted. So
appreciate it.
We'll talk.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Ken. I wanted to get his tickers out there. Nice, good plays. Good plays for the most part. BYOC, I'm actually kind of surprised at. You really don't get tickers that run out of the triple zeros into double zeros and into the pennies and then, stay at those levels like BYOC has. I'm actually quite impressed. Again, formerly a 000 stock I used to talk about here that wasn't doing anything. And this is a lottery, pick that its number got called, and it's been just insane. I got to imagine there's got to be somebody in this stock that's still holding from July 2017. There's got to be. 919, you're on the ad. What's up?
Hey, Sal, how's it going?
Bats, what's going on, man?
You and I have a connection, so you're gonna guess what I'm gonna ask you based on my tweets. Can you guess?
Based on your tweets, I'm guessing. I know you tweeted me today about a biotech company. Other than that, exactly. I don't remember.
Yeah, MBRX. So
okay.
Today's big mover today. You're right. OTC was pretty dry. I mean, Ken has a few stocks here and there. I agree there were a few ones, but looking overall, I had to page through the OTC markets, pages just to find something that looked decent. Yeah. So I totally agree with you. MBRX, so these guys were using really flamboyant language today about breakthroughs in new cancer molecules and stuff. They made reference to brain cancer. They made reference to pancreatic cancers, both cancers which are really severe. I mean, all cancers are bad, but when you're talking about like pancreatic cancer, there's no cure for that. That's the same cancer that Patrick Swayze had. I believe Gregory Hines, the tap dancer, he had some kind of a similar type of cancer. But anyway, a lot of, a lot of superfluous, like, big words talking about breakthroughs and revolutionary stuff. So, yeah, what's your take on this? Because you mentioned that it was being actually promoted.
Yeah, so here's the thing. After you brought it to my attention, of course I had to do my investigation. And first and foremost, I wanted to hit what the promoters were doing because it just looked so suspicious. That move kind of seemed a bit exaggerated for the news. And, come to find out, it's being promoted, yes, by Penny Stock Egghead. And I'm going to post up the email that I received from the Penny Stock Egghead, or AKA the Penny Stock Prophet. And basically, he's sending this email out talking about how he made it his alert. And right now, this is the stock, it could go higher, blah, blah, blah. I alerted it to you this morning. So he had actually been running a promotion in this stock coming from last week. So this has been building, but for whatever reason, it looks like along with the news, it got the stock higher. So, just be aware that, of course, the technology, the breakthrough is amazing. Any type of cancer breakthrough that can lead to what we hope is a cure for this awful, I don't know if it's a cancer, it's a virus, a disease, whatever you want to call it. But for a cure for that, obviously, you're talking about a substantial windfall that could, come to anybody who gets it right. And MBRX right now, unfortunately, is being promoted. So you've got to think that maybe this price that you're paying for it at here, is this the legitimate price? Is this the fair market value for MBRX, even though we know that it's being promoted? That's up in the air right now.
So MBRX has a decent price to book ratio. That's a ratio you look at to see, value in the company. It's a fundamental, one of the fundamental criterions. The only thing I could find of value towards this is the debt. So I've talked in the past about zero debt biotech companies. That's a good start if they have zero debt. These guys have zero debt, 8 million in total cash. That's good. But like I tweeted, the 8 million is not going to last for that long. So my suspicion or my prophecy is that they will have a second offering.
Absolutely.
And it might be a $1.50, it might be a $2 offering, whatever they decide. So I've talked to you about my offering strategy, which is one of many. I would, right now it looks like it's a trader's haven right now, shorting and doing all sorts of stuff. This stock isn't going anywhere, at least for the next month. The news was, the type of words that were being used in today's news were augmented, superfluous, like exaggerated. They used big words. If you look at Dekmar, who talks about how you spot a stock, you look at the float, you look at the type of language that's used. This is the first time where it's like these guys, potentially they were claiming that, wow, this is revolutionary stuff. But I must say, research on these anti-cancer drugs started in at the MD Anderson Center in Houston, Texas. That place is really humid, really hot. Joel Osteen is out there, so maybe that's a good thing for some people.
Right.
Anyway, I've worked with MD Anderson on different but similar projects. In fact, for the last 2 years with the job that I have now traveling, I work with them. So they do good research, and MD Anderson is, a world-renowned, cancer center. So that's good. It's just like you said, if it's being promoted, I just need to be careful about
Absolutely.
that.
Because you're getting possibly an inflated price for the stock right now, based on the fact that you have maybe some short-term investors in there who are trading on some other kind of influences. So that's the only thing you definitely have to be concerned of.
And this is where it's difficult as a fundamental type of investor, because obviously there are no PE ratios to talk about or EPSs, any of that stuff when it comes to biotech, which is why Warren Buffett stays away from it. But a lot of us on this show are traders, and that's what we look for. I was going to say my brother, as I've mentioned, my brother James out in Boston, he works for a VC company in Boston, a life sciences venture capital company. I told him about MBRX. He says, the target, which is STAT3, it's a transcription factor that maybe is involved in cancer that these drugs supposedly block. He says each and every one has done that. It's an old transcription factor. I would stay away from that. And, I love my brother, but he is more of a value, old school investor or long-term trader, because I've given him picks where I'm like, get into GALT. Remember gold?
Yes, I do
and
remember
he's like,
gold.
the financials look crazy. I said, just get in. A couple of weeks later, he's like, I'm up 100%. And then, 2 weeks after that, he's like, I'm up 100%. So, it's nice to be in touch with the fundamentals and the research, but remember, when it comes to technical trading, we're not into that. He said the same thing about PRED, where he says, I don't like the way they've structured the company. And I said, what's wrong with it? He says, I can't explain it, but I would stay away from it. And of course, that's when you brought it up. It goes from 95 cents to $3 something. So you need to kind of decide what type of a trader, investor, swing trader you are. I love my brother a lot, but he misses that, in a short space of time, you can make 30, 40, 100%. And we're always bouncing ideas off each other. Eventually, I think we'll work together and start something together along the lines of trading. Okay, let's forget that story. The last stock I want to mention, or just the second stock, is GLMD. GLMD, Girl Lion Medical Device. GLMD.
Okay, GalMed Pharmaceuticals. All right. This looks like a stock that had some issues a couple of days ago. Now bouncing very convincingly from those lows.
Okay, so this is what I want to show people. I'm always talking or tweeting about the bullish belt hold. This is the bullish belt hold phenomenon, although we don't have the stock strictly coming down from a low and meeting the prevailing price. But this is what you need to look for, and this is a killer trading strategy that I see it fail, but if it fails, you'll get more of a consolidation, then it goes up. So look at what happened yesterday, not today. Forget about today's candle. Great, it was up. Yesterday's news, devastating, terrible, right? It's another biotech, an Israeli company that failed in some kind of a clinical trial. Look at what happened. And look for this pattern in especially where traders perceive value. I'll repeat that, the perceived value. So right now, I don't know what Apple is trading at, but let's assume Apple dropped 30%. What are people going to do? It's Apple. The perceived value of Apple is that, wow, Apple has dropped so low, we've got to get in. And that's what you see yesterday. That candlestick right there, it's a bullish belt hold phenomenon, but you've mentioned it, I've mentioned it. It's called a Marubozu white, bullish Marubozu white candle, which means it's got no wicks to it. So you can see at the bottom, it starts, the buyers literally bought it up.
From the lows, right. Beautiful.
Yeah, from the lows. Sellers and shorters had no play in this. Literally, the buyers bought it back up, which is why it has no wicks on the bottom wicks or upper wicks. And then based off of that, because the sentiment was, wow, this is a good deal, let's buy this back up, that's why you get today's green day as a sentiment from yesterday's bullish day. So remember, even though, yes, it gapped down, it lost so much, in terms of gains yesterday, the sentiment was bullish. And so when everyone is looking at charts, look for these charts where a stock establishes maybe like a 52-week low, but then it's bought back up. And the beauty of that is that then the next day or on that same day, if it's coming from a 52-week low or a low that hasn't been reached in a few months, it means that you can buy end of day when you see that pattern, or you can confirm the second day, because more than likely you're not really going to get a gap up there. And so look for this pattern. I mean, I've looked at so many charts, like I've said, and this pattern performs time and time again. It's not a quick way of making money, because what's essentially happening is the buyers are coming down from the low, and then it slowly starts coming back up and filling that major gap. So, yeah, that's all I have for you. Be on the lookout for these type of patterns. Thank you, Sal.
Thank you, Bats. Appreciate it, man. Yes, indeed, man. Appreciate Bats, as always, for the great knowledge. Giving you a great ticker, a really, really great ticker. And that's how you're going to have to trade these biotech plays, because, again, you know, these companies do not generate revenue, all right? They are basically companies in perpetual, what's the word? Experimental stages. I mean, they're trying to meet these critical endpoints as they try to create what they hope is going to be a breakthrough that's going to lead to, you know, a promising drug being created. So he mentioned about, you know, how investors and millions of investors who just don't mess with biotechs, period, because they're so story driven. They're so driven on the fact that these scientists have to get it right. They have to get it right. And when they don't get it right, things like this happen. Now, what Bats is showing us is relatively unique. Obviously, there's some other underlying factors there where investors see some kind of incredible value, where they didn't allow a endpoint or I would say, what was this? It looks like some kind of failure that happened here. Okay, yeah, endpoint was missed. So clinical trial failure on one of their drugs. But obviously, again, there was some kind of, you know, value there that you know, was ready for the taking. It was ready for the taking. And buyers are shooting back into the stock like crazy. Yes, indeed. What's going on, Stock God? All right. Hey, Benny B, I'm going to need you to be respectful for our callers, okay? All right. Yes, indeed. Let's be respectful to our callers. All right, so let's get back to it, ladies and gentlemen. I had just missed a call during time Bats was just getting off, so call me back, caller. I just missed your call. All right, just missed your call. But again, let's get to those tickers that I saw bouncing back today. Again, Apple, I mean, this is incredible turnaround for Apple. I showed you guys a little bit of that RSI strategy on those videos I want to give to you on Apple. And we talked about how you can play kind of that RSI trend breakdown, where you see the selling trend gets broken down. And if you're willing to go long at the break, all right, willing to go long at the break, you can find yourself in a great profitable situation, especially on an option strategy. 857, you're on the air. What's up?
Hello?
Yes, 857. Can you go ahead and lower me in the background, please?
Okay, sorry about that.
No
question. I love your show. I'm a novice. I just started following you. I just subscribed probably about 3 days ago, and I haven't started watching yet. I'm catching up on every back episode. And what I'm trying to figure out is I have a limited capital investment, and I want to know, should I focus on one stock or should I focus on numerous shares?
Well, yeah, you know, that's always a tough one, because you always want to, you know, diversify. But at the end of the day, I think risk management is maybe the most important part of trading. So with someone in your situation with limited amount of capital, I'd focus on, you know, one stock at a time, especially you being a beginner. So, you know, get yourself situated, understanding, you know, what exactly you're doing, what kind of stocks you like to trade, you know, whether or not you're going to go with stocks or options, what your strategy is. If I can ask, have you already chosen a broker?
Yeah.
Now, who are you
I
going
got
with?
TD Ameritrade.
Great
And
start.
commissions is killing me. Commissions is killing me because what I did is I spread myself thin, and I probably took about maybe 2,000 and bought about 5 different shares, and all of them are doing good. But if I feel like if I could have condensed my purchase, I could have probably been better off.
Okay, so you're already trading. I wasn't aware. Okay, I didn't think.
Yeah, I'm already trading. I'm already trading. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's quite a bit. You know, that's a few positions to have on. I mean, most of your traders that you see in my chat room or who have their own platforms where they teach people, they're doing maybe 1 to 3 at a time max. So
Okay.
you really don't want to have that many going at the same time unless you really see some kind of long-term pattern being being created there that you can follow. But if you're not down too much, I would honestly, my man, get out of all that, get back into cash, and really kind of start studying again. How long did you study before you started trading, or did you just kind of jump in?
I've been day trading for a while,
Okay.
and I was trying to preserve capital, and I finally preserved my capital, and then I started. I was paper trading rather for a while, and I started preserving my capital, and then I started to actually do like physical live trading through my broker. So I've been doing it for over 6 months, just like studying and watching the ticker and things of that sort.
Okay. Now, do you have a trade plan? Do you have a set of like maybe 10 or so requirements that you look at a certain? So you do have a written down trade plan that you look through?
Yes, I have 3 major things that guides me.
Okay, and every single one of the stocks that you got in your portfolio right now met those conditions?
Nope, not. It's my first stock purchase, which was I was just testing it out, and I spent $100, and I bought $100 worth of Trove, and I watched it drop from like 40% of my value.
Yeah. Now, what kind of stocks are you trading? Like, are you like large caps or penny stocks? What kind of?
Well, I have everything, but the most profitable ones are like Snapchat and ATOS.
Okay.
And,
all right. So NASDAQ small cap stocks. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I mean, if again, you shouldn't be buying things that don't meet a criteria that you created, right? I mean, if it's not something that you've decided that this is what I want to trade and this is the criteria I've set for myself, you shouldn't be buying those stocks that don't meet something you came up with. So I would get out of those stocks, especially if they're not winning for you. And again, I would really get back to studying because it seems like you're not really sure of necessarily how to trade. And I will go ahead and post, some videos for you. Email me too, because I want to send you some videos at happypennystocks@gmail.com. And I want to send you some guys as well as some names that you can follow, whether it be on Twitter, on YouTube, that you can follow and learn from. Because even losing $100 when you have a $2,000 account, that's a lot of money. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. When you only have $200. So you want to make sure that you can get back into cash if you can. And
no, I have $2,000.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. If you only have that's fine. But again, all your losing positions right now, just get out of them. If you're losing, get out of them. Get back into cash and start getting back to really learning how to trade again. And I think it's going to work out a lot better for you. All right. But email me, bro.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
All right, man. Thanks, dude. All right. Yeah. You guys don't have to call me sir, man. I'm not dude, I'm 30. Like, not no damn old ass man. All right. Yeah. But I want to, he's got to get back into the education phase. He's got to get back into the education phase again. All right? Because when you're, talking about you got 5 stocks at one time and you're kind of spread out all over the place, and I don't think he's really sure. You know what I'm saying? 251, you're in the air. What's up?
Hey, brother Sal, what's going on, man?
Anthony, what's going on, bro?
Oh man, retired, man.
Yes, congratulations to you, by the way. Yes, indeed.
Trying to sit up here, man, and learn options and calls and puts. So that's what I'm going over now.
Absolutely.
But I had a question for I got something for the caller that just called.
Mm-hmm.
He may want to look at getting into Robinhood as well, especially when he's doing those NASDAQ stocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no fee there's no fee for buying and selling stocks on that end. But I agree with you on the other end. Get back to sometimes you have to cut your losses with it.
Absolutely.
And but the other thing was Friday before I called, Friday before the show went out the air, I was going to call you and ask you, did you get your package? I sent.
You sent me a package?
Yep.
Let me see on
Friday. Through PayPal.
Let me see here, man. Let me see if because I should check it a lot more often. But if you did, Anthony, I can definitely check on that, bro. If you did, man.
Okay.
And again, I'm also grateful if you did. I mean, in fact, I can look real quick. But while I'm doing that, man, tell us what you're trading right now.
Right now, I'm just trying to soak up just being off, don't have to go to the man's job and, doing my thing now full time.
So and oh wow, Anthony, thank you so much, bro. Is that you, H&H?
Yeah.
Thank you
that's
so
my
much.
company.
Appreciate you, Anthony. Thank you so much, man, for that.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Just want, like I say, man, you deserve it, man. You help all those out, and like I say, appreciate it, man. More people need to, contribute to it when they have little wins or whatever.
Thank you so much, Anthony. So now you're home full time. So you plan on obviously being a trader full time, as well as of course, running your business that you've been doing for some time now.
Yeah.
What are you looking to trade here? I know you're learning options, but what are some maybe one or two stocks you're looking at right now?
I'm not really looking at nothing. I got funds in my TD Ameritrade account, and I got funds in my Robinhood account. So if I want to do OTCs, I use TD Ameritrade, and if I want to do NASDAQ stocks, I use Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I work those two, because it ain't no need you paying that money for a NASDAQ stock on TD Ameritrade.
Absolutely.
I'd rather pay that on I'd rather pay that, don't worry about the fees on Robinhood and do NASDAQ versus, doing OT, and then Robinhood don't do OTCs.
Absolutely.
So that's the way I do it. That's the way I do. That's why I got those two accounts. So it works. It kind of works out for me, on that end. But yeah, the OTCs, I use TD Ameritrade for it.
Excellent. So, not bad. Well, thank you so much for that, Anthony.
Yeah, so I'm going back looking at one of your videos when the show was canceled. What's that? Back in last year?
Okay.
So I can learn how to put some calls and know what to look for. So.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, Anthony, man. Thank you so much for the call, bro.
All right, man. Thanks,
hey, by the way, Anthony, don't drive your wife crazy, man, because I know now you're home all the time.
Hey, I still get up early, see her off to work, and then I get myself ready for whatever I got to do.
All right, there it is, Anthony. So much, man, and congratulations to you, bro.
All right, sir.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for the call and for the donation, man. Appreciate you so much for that. Loyal caller, loyal listener. I appreciate you, Anthony, so much, man. Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah, I mean, look, my thing, he doesn't even need to be trading right now. I just didn't get the feeling like he, should be trading right now. And I would really love, he's got TD Ameritrade. They bought Invest Tools. They've got a great education section. I know everybody wants to jump in and start making money, but, take some time to really study, and when we say, and I know some people overuse the word, right? Because nobody really wants to do it, but the money ain't going anywhere, folks. Trust me, you know, the money's not going anywhere. The stock market's been here since, what is it, 1710? There's been a stock exchange, whether it be here in the U.S. or in Europe, or so. The market isn't going anywhere. The market isn't going anywhere. But I'd hate for you to come in and be somebody else's butter for their bread, because you don't know what you're doing. You know? 281, call me back. 281, call me back. Yes, indeed. 281, call me back. You're right, Fisher G. Excellent paper trading platform there on TD Ameritrade. All right, let me give out the link to my let me see here, to my Google Drive while I'm up here. All right, and I got that option video in there for you. You can use this as well for stocks, but I know it is strong on options. If you go in deeper into there, you'll get the Investors Live video in there you can download too. 281, you on the air, what's up?
Is it better to start, I'm like the previous caller, I'm learning too, is it better to start with options or stocks with a small account?
Preferably with a small account, stocks is better. I mean, options are incredibly risky. The risk reward is very, very high. So I always suggest guys to start with stocks. And when you got a really sound fundamental level of profitability in stocks, then you can follow through with options.
Think I should penny trade, like what Tim Sykes penny trade, or just start with straight, just plain small stocks? What do you think?
Well, so with someone with a small account, you want to definitely, trade stocks under $10 a share. You get more bang for your buck. I would stay away from OTC stocks. But yeah, small, with a small account, yeah, you definitely want to trade stocks under $10 a share that trade on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange.
Are you doing ICOs?
No cryptos at all. I don't mess with any kind of cryptocurrency. I don't believe in trading money for, something that could be money. I don't believe in that.
Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate your help.
Thank you. Appreciate your call. Yes, indeed. Yeah, stay away, folks, from that ICO Bitcoin stuff, all right? I entertain some of the people here with crypto once in a while, but please don't do that, man. Please don't do that. We just had, one of the greatest transfers of currency ever just happened, where you just had, generations of a generation of computer scientists literally, pull off the greatest hustle ever on gullible, poor, black, Hispanic, white people ever by selling them a dream that was cryptocurrency. All right? They hustled the hell out of y'all, man. Mr. Lloyd, call me back, 206. Mr. Lloyd, call me back. I just missed your call. Yeah, that was an incredible transfer of wealth from poor, gullible people who don't know what they were doing to computer scientists, data programmers, and the like. 206, Mr. Lloyd, what's going on?
Man, what's going on, Sal? I am back. I am back in the game and just kind of refreshing myself. I see we have a mixed crowd here of Bitcoin, options, and small caps, and everybody's curious on what is the best way to make money. Yes. Now, I've been trading since 2016. You got that screenshot, that second one? I want to talk about that for a second.
Yes, I got that one. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for a good gain today on a solid option play. I don't like the fact that the expiration was like tomorrow, but again, solid play on it. Let me pull that up and show the audience. And
well, Connor's been talking about, and I remember Connor making a video. I don't know if you're listening, man, but you made a video some time ago saying Amazon went from 6 cents to like, $1,200 a contract. And for you guys that don't know how much a contract is, it's $6 for $1,000. So you could have bought $300 worth of contracts and would have been sitting pretty good, selling each one, buying each one at $6 and selling them for $1,000.
Yes.
And so over the last year, I've been trying to figure out how to do that, and it's not easy. But this screenshot here is proof that you can go in with small capital and make money. Now I don't know if you can highlight or on that screen or not, but if you guys don't know how to read this, this is the trade. If you look at the trade price, it's at 9 cents, which equates to $9. I bought 3 contracts. So, excuse me 1 second.
$27. He spent $27. Because guys, remember, it's the price times 100 shares. So when you're looking at the trade price, you have to multiply by the number of stocks in the option, which is the typical is 100. So 9 cents times 100 is $9. He bought 3. That's $27. So he spent $27 on this option and generated a return today of $244 at the moment we took you sent me this picture.
Right. And I still haven't closed out on it, but this stuff like this doesn't happen overnight. And the only way that you can do this is you have to have patience. But if you guys are new at this, you're going to get the itch. I still get the itch where you feel like you have to play every day, but the smart money out there is holding back and catching moves like this. I've been waiting. When did Connor come out with that video? Sometime last year at the beginning of 2017. And I know these plays are out there, but the problem is when you see these little cheap option plays, you have to be right on in catching the move. Okay.
Absolutely. Especially with an option expiring as soon as that one.
Right. So basically me showing you that is not that I'm bragging, but I wanted to tell you that $27 turned into $300 within a day. And I could have bought more, but I need to scale back and let me put it this way. When you have a lot of money in your account, you get very comfortable with how you trade. You kind of get relaxed. And even if you have a big gain, you start to relax. But the thing that helped me, I took all my money out of my account. I left $200 in there. Of course, I was down to my last $60. And I was just fucking around because I'm paper trading to try to figure out how to do this. What is the best way? Because a lot of you guys got small accounts, and you see all these people. I turned $500 into $10,000 in 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, shit. Well, let me figure this shit out because, I feel compelled to. I feel like I couldn't trade unless I had at least $5,000 in the account.
Right.
So I wanted
that way too.
Right. So I wanted to debunk the fact that people say you can't make money off options, and I should have sold when I saw the $300. I should have sold, but I didn't sell because I want to see for myself how far this goes. Looking at that big ass candle right there, I know this is probably going to hit $2 tomorrow. So we'll see. But you guys got to keep the faith out there, man. This shit is not going to happen overnight, and it is no way easy. Those contracts could have easily went the other way. But does it make sense, Al?
I think it makes sense. Trading. Well, first, hold on. Before I say something, I want you to answer that previous caller's question. When somebody's got a small account, all right, let's say $2,000, what would you suggest for them to start with, stocks or options? Your opinion.
First off, I'll tell them to start off with paper trading because you need to understand when you go out on a date, you need to understand who you're dating. You're not just going to call somebody up randomly. Hey, you know what? You're a woman. Let me go meet you.
Right.
You need to understand. Right.
Well, Mr. Lloyd, okay. I paper traded. But I'm ready to jump in the market. When it comes to stocks or options, what would you start with? Because even if I'm going to go into paper trading, I still want to know how, you can paper trade for options too. You can paper trade for stocks. So what would you, for somebody with a $2,000 account, what would you start with?
Okay.
What, in your opinion?
$200, and I would start with $200. I wouldn't put $2,000 in. I would start with $200 because you tend to trade better when you're hungry, but you tend to get lazy when you're full, right? So, I mean, it's like Thanksgiving dinner. When you got a lot of money in your account, or you feel like you have a lot, you get full and you start making mistakes. But when you're hungry, you hustle for your money. And basically, that $300 was me being hungry and hustling for that money. So there's a difference, and don't feel like you have to have $2,000. So I would start off with options, okay, because but you have to learn how to read charts. Options will force you to be a technical trader, and you have to learn how to read charts. But still, I'm not perfect, and you're not going to see plays like this every day. There's only certain plays, and you have to make sure that they're liquid enough. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of 3-cent options, but you have to pay attention to liquidity. I will only trade the Qs like that because I know I can get in and out. I wouldn't trade price line $2,000 off the money. So that's my thing. If you got $2,000, put $100 in. You don't have to put the two $2,000 in there because basically when you lose out on $500, you're going to walk away for a minute, start twitching your fingers, and you're going to be right back on there trying to get your money back. And then next thing you know, you're treating it like a casino. Mm-hmm. And then you're bummed out, and then you quit trading, and you're going to say, fuck it, the market crashes, and you're going to wish that you had that $2,000 in there, but you're not going to have it. So take it slow, man. That's the biggest regret that I have is that I should have educated myself more on the different alternatives of the, different styles of the market, from OTCs. You have to diversify your money. Mm-hmm. So, and I just want to touch bases on something real quick. There's a lot of people out there that have retirement plans. And I just thought about this. Did you know if the market was to go straight zero right now, a lot of my coworkers will lose a lot of money. And, I called my retirement plan the other day and asked them, hey, can I get an option if this crashes? And nobody knew what an option was. And so basically, if you guys want to know what an option is, it's like buying car insurance. You don't drive a car without insurance. So if you got $100,000 in your account and the market crashes, people are supposed to buy options to protect their investments. And, you remember Blueberry? He's been saying that for a long time. He never traded options, but he always said he buys it when he goes on vacation. So I get the concept of that. So options aren't fun because there's just so many factors. You got the Vega, you got all those other different elements, and you have to put the time into it. But going from stocks to options is like going from a Ford Focus to a jet airliner, where it's like looking at all those damn buttons. Like, oh my gosh, you got the Vega. It has to be 0.202, and like, oh shit, the stock jumping. I'm losing $300. How in the hell is that possible? So there's a lot of things with options, and why don't you put $30 into options and see how you do? Test yourself out. Get the feel of losing money because you are going to lose. There's no doubt about it. You just need to figure out where you're going to lose it at. And equities, you might not lose it as fast. They're just going to nickel and dime you to death. So you really try to put $30 in and see how far you go. What do you have to lose? You don't need to put the whole $2,000 in there. So I'm gonna see how this thing turns out tomorrow, man. But this is just experience because I've seen this before. Absolutely. But for you guys that are new, and if you got some type of telepathic power to see this, then you'll do good. But don't try to do what I just did because it looks good, but I lost a lot of money trying to get to this point. So I'm not going to sit here and brag and say, oh yeah, I got $300. Yeah, that's great. Shit, I lost thousands trying to get to this point on how to make money. So that's the key to me, is learning how to make money. We can all lose it, but we need to learn how to make it. And so patience, you have to have patience, and it takes time. So I don't know if that makes sense on your end, but I think options would be first because it's the hardest. But reading charts is good too. You won't make as much money doing equities, but it really just depends on. And I can't tell people which one's better, options or equity. It's whatever your working style is. What type of job are you? A truck driver? I mean, are you a Uber driver, or do you work in an office? You have to factor that all in when you decide on what type of trading you want to do. I mean, I had a customer in front of me, and I was down like $800. You know how bad I wanted to pick up my phone and say, "Hey, excuse me 1 second. Let me go out." I think we talked about this in the past. Have you ever pulled over to make a trade because you were losing? So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have a large amount of money into something, and next thing you know, you get interrupted because you're down $500 and $600.
Yeah.
And then what's going to piss you?
Absolutely, Mr. Yeah, let me pull this a little bit back a little bit, because I get what you're saying, and I don't want to turn this into a beginner trainee show, because that's kind of far from
My
that.
fault, man.
No, you're good, Mr. Lloyd. But I just want to put my 2 cents in there, and we'll wrap it up. Me personally, there is no consistently profitable options trading strategy. That's there is. I think people need to know that there is not one consistently. Every guy that I know who's good in options, he makes a ton of losses. He makes good wins, but a ton of losses. And someone like myself, who learned at the beginning, 08, 09, really got strong into it in 2012, learning under Tim Sykes and stuff. I know that when you go into equities and you've only got a couple $1,000s, you can make good, solid returns trading, small cap, low float runners that are low RSI, stocks that have tumbled and are looking, maybe just tightening with those Bollinger Bands, looking for breakouts, breakdowns. Those are strategies that are consistently profitable, that even when they go against you, you can set stop losses where you can guarantee yourself, I'm going to take a 10% loss on this thing. You have options, sometimes your stop losses don't hit. Sometimes the stock goes down so fast, your option literally becomes worthless in moments. A $300 trade is now $30, if that. So people have got to understand that as well. But again, it goes back to doing your homework and really coming, to the profession, because that's what it is, with a lot of knowledge.
Well, options, and I think that options will force you to take blood pressure medication. It will set you up to get your emotions in line. I was emotionless. I had high emotions playing equities, as you remember, the bankrupt stocks and stuff like that. But options basically made me numb about losing money, because I've been down $1,500, even though the contract was way out, and I was able to patiently wait for it to reverse out to make a profit. And let me tell you, I don't know if you remember that trade. It was so hard to stomach a $1,500 loss in something, thinking like, what the fuck? How can I get out of this? But the last piece of advice that I want to give for all type of indices or whatever you're trading, the thing that's most important when you trade is that you have to be stress-free. You have to have all your stuff in order, because there's people sitting at home with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're in their own comfort zone. But when you have a job, you have a family, you have car bills due, you have your wife mad at you because you took money out the account and to trade, you have all those factoring in when deciding how to trade. And when you start having all those stressors on your back, you're going to make more mistakes, and then you're going to fault yourself for something that you had that was not your fault, basically. But anyways, you get what I'm trying to say about that? It's just like you have to have all your priorities straight in order to trade, because it will cause you to make more mistakes. And trading is very stressful. And if you don't have a focused mind, you will lose a lot of money, not only because trading is psychological. And so if you got things going on at the house, you're going to mess up because psychologically it's going to fake you out and make you believe that you're going to lose everything. And once you get out, it reverses itself and it goes back up. So you got to get your priorities straight at home before you trade, man. So that's all I got to say on that, man. Thanks for presenting that snippet there. And you can turn $27 to $300. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with the Qs, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lloyd. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, those kind of results are absolutely real. Those kind of results that he's showing you guys. And again, that's light work for Mr. Lloyd. That's this is a guy who's got a 6-figure trading account. That's pennies. $300 ain't shit. You could have easily had bought 50 calls, and then we'd be talking about another kind of conversation, right? Where he turned, a couple, maybe a $3,000 worth of calls into what could have been, who knows, maybe 27,000 or more. Lord knows that's an ETF with the volume to trade that kind of, that kind of size. He could have easily had done that. So thank you, Mr. Lloyd, for the call. In fact, I'll give you the monster kill for that because that's well over monster kill. Well over 400% on his money. So shout out to Mr. Lloyd for that. NTLK. Let's get back to the tickers. And again, look, I don't like, I love the beginners. I love all you new people, but we want to kind of definitely get back to what this show is all about, which is finding great trades, reviewing great trades throughout the week. And we kind of learned that way. For those of you guys who are watching for the first time, of course, click subscribe and join us here live Monday through Thursday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Of course, you can see my RSI line, my volume at the bottom of the screen. By the way, that green line is the 50 line, right? So we understand that when you talk about the relative strength index, positive momentum starts when a stock is above the 50 line. So that's just kind of one of those indicators I love to have on the screen. Because it's really one of the, my primary indicator that I use in my trading. All right, one more call. 703, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, Sal. What's up? It's me, Fisher. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Fisher?
Mr. Lloyd showed the triple Qs. Man, I love the triple Qs.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the lowest flows. They're like penny stocks for options. That's what I got. But if you get them at the right time, you do make good money.
Absolutely.
Like the indexes are the best ones. Like if you want to do options, but penny style way. But what I called for was Ripple, XRP.
Okay.
It's a crypto. Okay. I know you don't like it, but have you seen the news what Ripple just done?
No, I didn't. What did they do? I'm trying to pull it up here too. Ripple.
Type in Saudi Arabia.
What happened to Ripple in Saudi Arabia?
They're using their platform to help them with their banks in the Middle East.
Okay, so they're using Ripple to help them. I don't understand.
Help their money flow. Like they use Ripple, like Current or Rapid, to help them liquidate their money from countries to countries, so it can be easier to access.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I mean, why do you trade cryptos? I'm not gonna shit on it. But I just curious, why do you trade? Oh, so you don't trade them?
I buy them like Ripple is, but right now for $1, right?
Okay.
I believe it becomes the next maybe Litecoin. It'll go to $100 or to $150.
Okay.
I'm looking long term.
Okay.
I'm like the beginner investor of these companies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trade them. I don't do like that fucking bulls on Wall Street in and out. I like the company. I research the company. I see what they do for their blockchain, because blockchain will be the new technology that people use. And I look at all these different coins, the different websites, the different white papers. The white papers like the company's information.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what they do for each industry. And if I like it, I'll buy it when it's cheap, like Ripple. That's what I think, like 50 cents. I bought it, and I bought about like 150 of them.
Yeah.
And I see that long term. I'm not going to sell it for at least 3-4 years, but I look at the news every day. I don't look at the chart. I just see how they progress on these different coins.
Okay. That makes
sense.
sense.
But these different coins are getting controlled by Bitcoin. That's the problem. If Bitcoin doesn't rise, these coins don't rise. But a lot of these companies, like Stellar, ADA, it won't be on TradingView. I don't think. But Stellar has combined with IBM to help their blockchain company. And right now, Stellar's cheap. It's like maybe 45 cents.
Mm-hmm.
And IBM is a blue chip company. It's a really good company. And I see the future of Stellar joining with IBM, maybe becoming part of IBM, so it may be more expensive later on. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There it is, Fisher. Thank you so much for the call, man.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Fisher G with the call. Fisher G with the call on Ripple with Saudi Arabia, as well as another cryptocurrency, Stellar, doing business with IBM. Look, I don't doubt that there's big things happening in the cryptocurrency space and how these companies can use the blockchain to help, create shareholder value for their investors somehow. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. There's just something happening there. I just hate the fact that I think this all happened too soon, and it's left a big sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, including my own, even though I didn't even lose any money. I just saw so many people who I thought were smart enough to understand that, you can get yourself in a great ETF or get yourself in a great, large cap stock. People who I thought were really intelligent, they put their money in cryptocurrencies. I just, PhD professors pushing programs for, cryptocurrencies. People with PhDs in finance. I mean, you're supposed to be intelligent, and I just, if you're doing what Fisher is doing, I guess, you're just taking a long-term bet to see what happens. But these were people who honestly believed that they could become millionaires trading cryptocurrencies. And this is what we're talking about as recently as a month ago. 919, you're back on the air.
Hey, it's Bad Scientist again. I was just wanting to make a point about risk. Risk to the downside versus risk to the upside. With the way I trade, I found that very seldom do I lose a lot of money, and I've learned to use the low RSI strategy in order to make sure that I'm not losing that much money. So it doesn't matter whether you're trading, doing the traditional trading, going long with equities, or you're doing options. What you look for are stocks that are coming from a low RSI. And what you do is you go back, look at the daily chart, go back a day, go back a week, go back a month, look at all those charts and see what happens when they hit a low. So, for instance, you have the chart of Apple up. Can you put that up for a minute?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And it's really your ability to interpret what the chart is saying. It's almost like the stock is telling you a story. Listen to what the story. We all know that Apple is actively traded. Everyone is into it. The candlestick that's 5 days before that. What do you see?
Of course, this drop down here where you had that flash down to 150.
Exactly. And so it's all about finding these patterns where it's kind of like a hidden message that comes from the buyers telling you that this is the bottom of the chart. Okay, so this is Apple specifically, and I'm not saying that every chart where you find a low RSI hammer signal, it's gonna do the same thing, but we talked about the bullish belt hold. My point in this is that try to think differently from where everyone else, everyone else is chasing stocks, as they go up. Find a stock that's at a low, right? And, anyone on this show, you can modify based on what I'm, advising now. You can modify this strategy. Find a stock that's already at a low. My suggestion or recommendation would be look at an actively traded stock. So if you go to FinViz, it's free. If you go to OTC, it's free. You know who the big players are. I mean, any of us on this show who look at like the big stocks, we know the commonly occurring stocks, the most actively occurring stocks. So what you want, and Sal, you've talked about this till you were blue in the face. You always, when a stock goes up and it goes up really crazy and everyone is in on it and it's a popularly traded stock, what do? You wait for the pullback, right? And you don't have to, like in Apple, right? You could have traded, like UPS. You've got UPS up right now.
That's as soon as you started talking about it, that's a beautiful chart. I mean, this is where you can if you've got a couple $100 right now. This is the kind of is good company, right? Great PE. Obviously with this sector, you're going to have the low PEs. But you know what they do. You're familiar with the company. You know it's a
no-brainer. Exactly.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. This is why I have some of my followers who are shocked, like why I put $12,000 or $10,000 in a stock. Okay, so you talked about options and the pros and cons. The one thing that I'll get into options sooner or later, but the one thing I'm guaranteed of with just regular trading, there's no decay time. Or maybe if you follow Kelly Robb, maybe you could do futures, but there's no decay time. So come on. This chart you brought up, Sal, you know what I'm talking about. This is how you trade, dude. And as long as people are patient and they can wait a few days, I mean, I know we have day traders here and so on, but just be patient. Like, if you've got $10,000 or $5,000, spread your trades out. So maybe you're swing trading, put in 1,000 per trade, but spread your. Can you do me a favor and bring up the FedEx, FDX, the FedEx chart?
FDX.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, I'm waiting for the delay here. Does it look the same as the UPS chart?
Yeah, very similar. Very similar. The FedEx is risen
just
a little bit more.
Look at that doji. Look at that doji that's marking the bottom of the chart. I hate to say this, but Sean Deckmar talks about this. This is freaking predictable stuff. I mean, particularly when you trade the active stocks. And you've seen so many charts where you study the pattern. This is predictable stuff. Now, UPS and FedEx are boring as heck, right? But this is where you should be doing your options trade. Here is where I'm telling you, like, I'm so confident. This is where, like Mr. Lloyd was talking about, hey, you're not quite sure, where to get in the stock or you could lose money. These are the types of trades you should be making. And then guess what? Look at any company, I'm sure on Black Box, where they talk about unusual put or call activity. And you don't need any fancy databases. You go to people that publish this stuff every day. I follow a few people on Twitter. I'm the laziest guy because I don't want to do all the work. I know how to read charts. So your question was stocks or options. I would say you need to know how to read charts. And you don't want to be worried about the Greeks' decay and all that nonsense. Start with stocks, learn how to read the charts, then you'll be the perfect candidate for the option strategy. I mean, look at the FDX. It's a no-brainer. You're at the bottom of the chart. You've got a long-legged doji 5 days ago. This is a no-brainer. And by the way, guess what? I think these stocks are going up. Remember the news last week where it's like Amazon is trying to source cheaper delivery, and they want to start their own delivery service in LA. And guess what? FedEx and UPS have done this for decades. Amazon, as great as they are, they'll never come to that level because that's not what they're good at. What they want to do is control the supply chain. So by getting in a cheaper supplier or a cheaper company that can do deliveries, just like Coke did back in the day, where they controlled their bottling by buying a bottling company, all they're doing is controlling the supply chain or the value chain. But Amazon right now will never get to the level of expertise in FedEx or UPS, as you know, because they've been doing it for years. And guess what? I looked into this last week. People like Bill Gates, and there's a few institutional investors like the Pioneer Investment Company and a few others. Guess what? Bill Gates actually owns almost the same number of shares as he does in FedEx that he does in UPS. Oh, wow. So he's covered. He's basically covered. This is like the extra work that you need to do to learn how the smart money does things. Like, if you know that there's a competitor in the shipping industry and that's the biggest shipper, instead of putting all your money on one shipper, put it on, the top two or the top three. This is how the smart money does things. So this is a wonderful chart, Sal. This is where you should be practicing your options play with plays like this. They're boring, but when you master this, this is the bomb. Sal, you and I are on the same, I don't know, I feel like we're on the same page on this. This is a no-brainer for us.
There it is.
Thank you, Sal.
Thank you so much, Bats. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you so much for the call. As always, look, you can always get a lot of help here if you're new. Follow all those guys on Twitter. I think Mr. Lloyd's not on Twitter, but Bats at Bat Scientist on Twitter. You can definitely take advantage of him and the people he follows there. All right, so somebody in the chat room had mentioned the Bitcoin and terrorist funding. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't fuck with Bitcoin too much, is because a lot of the guys who are using these cryptos to buy child porn and all kind of other fucking horrible, disgusting shit, as well as fund terrorism. All right, I saw Jeff talk about bots. Let me tell you something. He's right on that, man. Look, in 20 years, especially you young guys here in the chat room, under 30, under 25, you guys aren't even going to have a job. You're probably not going to have a job that you go to and you turn where you go and exchange your time for dollars, all right? Because there's going to be a machine that can do everything you can do 10 times as faster, maybe a lot more than that, a lot faster than that possibly. And it is what it is. This government, this country will probably pay you and thousands of people like you a universal wage, possibly, maybe, or we just might end up getting food boxes like Trump is trying to put out. All right, you guys might just get that federal delivery with 2 gallons of milk, a couple potatoes, and lettuce. They're gonna tell you what to eat, man. That's what the future looks like, man. They're gonna tell you what to eat. All right, Armando Rios. What do I have, Armando Rios? I have you. What did you say? I think I saw something you said. I have your name written down because I saw something you said. I can't remember what you said, Armando, but I wrote your name down because there was a comment that you made. I happened to forget. Hey, I'm Michael B. I'm serious, man. He's out here trying to, get people on the food boxes, man. Get people on that food boxes. He says it sounds like socialism. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, again, Sal, you're getting political. No, I'm just saying, man. Homie is a member of the party of individual liberty, First Amendment, Second Amendment rights, and he is proposing that instead of giving you, if you're poor, food stamp money for you to go into the store and choose what you want, he's proposing, I'm going to tell you what to eat. I'm going to tell you how big that gallon of milk is going to be, how big that potato is going to be, how big that cheese is going to be. That's what it is, man. You know what I mean? Have you been to some of these high schools out here? We don't need any more GMO, fed children out here, man. I told you guys about the story. My cousin took me. She took me. She didn't take me, but I went to go pick her up. Her mom couldn't pick her up. So I was going to oh, can you go pick up my daughter? I was like, cool. I'll go, pick her up. I go to pick her up. I'm looking at what I think are grown-ass women coming out of the school. Grown women, man. These women, I'm like, oh, no, she's in my class. Bear in mind, this girl's a 10th grader. I'm looking at grown-ass women. I'm like, these women cannot be 15 years old. They cannot be 15 years old. They could sit right next to me, at a club or something. I'm thinking that they fit right in. You know what I'm saying? Let me not go to jail right now. Let me get you in this car and let's get you home. Cause I was finna take out my cell phone like, baby, what's your name? You know what I mean? Like, damn. Big ass titties and everything. God damn, I need your shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit, man. Let's get back to it, man. Y'all done took up all my time trying to train these newbies. This is not even a newbie show. All right, let's get it twisted. Let's go through let's go through like 10 or 20 tickers real quick, all right? Damn, y'all done took up all my time with this newbie bullshit. But that's where the calls go sometimes. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. And let me give you that hit piece on Warren Buffett. We don't got time for it, but again, sentiment really changing on Warren Buffett, man. I think when that guy is gone, 20 years from now, when Warren Buffett is gone, I think people are going to really reevaluate what we think about him. I think everybody loves him, the old folksy old man from Omaha, eats at McDonald's, drives a Cadillac, and, old folksy old grandpa Warren Buffett, Fuck out of here, man. I think 20 years from now, he becomes the demon of what income inequality is. He becomes the central focal point, of what it means to be everything that's wrong with America. You know what I'm saying? A man who's really benefited by being a boomer, right? He's a post-war baby, right place, right time, right schools, got money, was able to buy, what's it called? What's the word of it? Hathaway, but what's the first name of the company? Berkshire Hathaway, which was a cotton, I believe it was like a cotton manufacturer or something like that was going out of business. He bought the company. He laid off the workers. He basically used it as a shell company, used their good credit and to buy other smaller companies. And basically he buys monopolies. He buys businesses that have no competition. He's literally, strangles any kind of competitor that comes into those fields with pricing power and credit and credit. All right. So I think that sentiment is really changing. And I think, in 20 years, we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett very, very, I think maybe in less than that, we're going to be talking about Warren Buffett very, very differently. Very differently. All right. So let's keep it going. Let's get into these stickers, all right? Let's get into it. Let's take a look at it. Somebody put in OTX. OTX, $35 stock. $35 stock. Yeah, it's the end of the week. We can go a little longer. OTX, $35 stock. I don't like this chart, bro. What's going on with this chart? I mean, it gaps up and then it doesn't hold. What's the story here? I'm seeing declining volume. $35 stock, only trading 400,000 shares. Again, a software company. I mean, if you like the business, then and you know something else about the story. But I'm looking at this chart, and again, we had an incredible 2017. This stock was nowhere to be found. I mean, funneling between 32, 35. So boring. So boring. All right, very boring looking stock. Let's look at Tesla. Let me say, I'm not a big fan of Tesla. Elon Musk. People want to call this guy the next. What are they calling him? They're calling him basically like an Einstein, right? Kind of dude. This guy, I'm watching him present the trucks, and I'm looking at like this guy doesn't even have a prepared speech. I mean, he's literally just winging it, and every other word he's like, yeah, right, and we're gonna have it ready, and I mean, I just look at him and I'm just like, this guy's he's just winging this shit. I do a little research into him, and this guy's one of the biggest corporate welfare queens, I think to probably ever exist. This guy's business is almost 70% financed by the United States government. When we talk about SpaceX, when we talk about even his Tesla, it's all about federal, benefits, and if you buy the car, you get this discount for buying it because it's got batteries, and you get this federal discount. I mean, this guy's he's a welfare queen. He's a welfare queen. He's a welfare queen, man. But look, is the products he create incredible? Yes, I can't wait to see the truck. I've talked about the truck here on the show. I think it's a game changer if it's for real. They're struggling with the car. They're struggling with the Model 3, getting that produced. Can the company survive getting to the truck? All right. The truck supposedly comes out in 2019, but they got the situation. They can't even produce an affordable car right now with production issues. They got people who already with the deposits lined up like, hey, yeah, we ready to buy, and they can't even meet the demand. So are we even going to get to the truck? Are we even going to get to the truck? Right now, he's got people on his side. He's got people buying, people who believe in him, people who believe in the technology. This company has no PE ratio because first of all, the company isn't profitable. They're burning through cash like crazy, and it is what it is. So right now, you got a company that's running on what I think this could be. That's what Tesla is right now. That's what Tesla is right now. All right? Let's keep it going. Is there upside? Yes, there's a ton of upside here because, again, people love the story. People love the story. All right? But I'm going to tell you right now, a guy like me, if I was Elon Musk, I couldn't pull off the bullshit that he's doing at some of these, these conferences where he's just going in there and basically winging it. I mean, the guy, go watch an Elon Musk interview. This doesn't sound like a man who you're comparing. I've seen some people say Tony Stark. I don't hear that. I don't hear that when I hear him speak. Now, granted, maybe I'm judging him wrong, and behind the scenes, he's some innovative Steve Jobs kind of hands-on type of guy. But when I'm listening to I don't feel that. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep it going. What else are you guys looking at? All right, DPW Holdings. This is a former, wasn't it supposed to be like a crypto play a while ago? Isn't that why it ran or something like that, DPW? Or they had like some kind of digital currency product, and then everybody found out that the product was only worth like $900. It was actually like a $900 invention. That's why DPW ran. Yeah, it came out. This is a stock that really rallied because of Bitcoin. They came out and said, oh, we were doing something cryptocurrency, blah, 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 blah. It's a low float stock, so a lot of people are excited about it. But, you got to understand the story that happened back in. They really, got a lot of people excited for really no reason. Stock got overbought, excuse me. But stayed up there for quite a while, tested a few shorts up there. And now we're looking at a stock that's lost well over, 60% of its value since December. So, I see somebody in the chat room talking about, is bullish momentum coming back? Could possibly be. We're seeing a return in stocks like GBTC, even stocks like, what was that other Bitcoin play? BTCS ran. I saw BTCS run today. Wasn't that BTCS or BTSC? I saw one of them ran today. BTSC. It was BTSC. Okay, we have BTSC. Some gains coming in that stock. So, yeah, we're seeing some of these Bitcoin stocks that sold off aggressively into the decline after the holiday season. Now I'm seeing some life coming back here. Here we have some life in BTSC. Stay away from BTCS, but BTSC could be a stock that can run again. I like BTSC at these levels. That actually looks good there at 11 cents a share. And it's got some solid multiple day support there. Below the 50 line there on the RSI. So you're looking at something with some decent stability there that if you're looking for an entry and you're patient, that could very well be a 15, 16, 17 cent stock if the bullish momentum stays with Bitcoin. All right. Let's keep going. CIE, they're actually still around. I saw somebody bring up Camber Energy. Yeah, this is a CIE is going to file for bankruptcy anytime soon now. Where are they at right now? I'm surprised they actually haven't already filed for bankruptcy. I do see here, it looks like some recent news. They got rid of some debt. But CIE that's a company that's got some really fundamental issues with debt. It's really interesting because I believe, I'm going to look at total assets 34. Yeah, so what happened is right now, it's trading below book value. So there's upside here, right? I mean, assets are worth more than the current market cap. So, but again, I don't know. Last time I checked, I know the debt situation is incredible. So this is, in my opinion, probably a stock that's going to go into bankruptcy, move over to OTC markets with a Q, and then finally, rectify that situation and come back later. But I wouldn't trade it here. I wouldn't trade it here. We've seen this story before. All right. PAWX, paychecks, employment services. Why have I heard of paychecks before? I've heard of paychecks, maybe a commercial or something like that. Hey, look, paychecks, interesting. I mean, look, they're not ADP, right? I mean, they're not ADP, which is the jack of all trades within the industry, but they're a younger company, very similar charts. They're trading the same way. Actually, it looks like very much like the Qs right now, the way that chart is set up. Looks like they've really been running. They've almost doubled. Oh, no, excuse me. No, let me take that back. $11 since August. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to go long here, I like the story. I like the story here. If you want to go long, this is the time to do it. Obviously, be patient. Looks like you're getting back into really some solid momentum developing here in paychecks. Obviously, where you really wanted to get in is where, that trend from the sell-off broke higher, broke out of that trend. That's where you wanted to get in right here. That would have got you in on the 9th. And you'd be enjoying it from then on. You really want to play those those RSI trend breaks. Those are very, very profitable to trade. But again, on a multiple day chart like this, an RSI breakout above 50 is always good. As you can see here, when this stock breaks above 50 on the RSI, that's a good look. This is a solid trend here. All right, let me use my cross to show you kind of what happens here. Yeah, you get in there on that RSI break above 50. As you can see here, you're talking about, $11 a share increase. If you had an option, I don't know if the options are liquid or available, but even straight, stock, that would have been a solid return of $11 a share from where it is to from where it is now. Actually, if in fact if you had sold off out here on that RSI breakdown below 50, that's how you trade these when it breaks down. Again, that would have been a solid return there. So interesting, reliable indicator for this particular stock. All right, let's keep it going. AMRH. What is this? Looks horrible, man. Holding company, Ameri Holdings. Secures competitive big data. All right, so the stock was selling off. All of a sudden, you got some buying in here. Low volume, 700,000 shares. The average is only 130,000. So unusual buying volume coming into the stock. You're going to have to do some research on it. Obviously, as you can see here, the chart doesn't give me much to look at. This is really ugly, man. That's a very ugly looking chart. All right. Yeah, CVO is a piece of shit. I don't know what happened to that. Yeah, if you like the payroll processing space, ADP is the way to go. All right, but yes, Paychecks is a solid stock coming back above the 50. If it makes that cross, I would take that position. Set a 10% stop loss and see where it goes from there. But with that 50 cross, man, it could end up becoming very profitable for you if you do a nice little trend hold there. ONCI, don't like the stock here. Again, I don't like trading stocks that are making new lows. As you see here, the stock was doing well, and unfortunately, things didn't turn out so well. Wow. Yeah, see here, this has been below 50 for quite some time here. It's been losing. And, it's not a stock you want to be a part of, right? Not a stock you want to be a part of. And, again, just like a chart we saw previously, you want to get back in there when it starts to break above the 50. All right, starts breaking above the 50. Set a nice little stop loss just in case it fakes you out. And you would have gotten a nice little run here. But, again, until we start seeing this start getting back where we start seeing buying coming back into the stock, why take the risk of trying to guess a turnaround? Let the turnaround be verified by an indicator. Use another indicator, maybe like a moving average, to, confirm, or MACD or stochastics or I always fuck up with that one, to verify. And then don't guess. I'm looking at the stock and I just know I wouldn't do that to you, man. Not a big fan of JNUG. JNUG, nice run here, right? But as when you're playing these commodity-based ETFs, you're so dependent on the price of the commodity, and they change overnight, so you really can't guess where it's gonna, what's gonna happen to them. So these are very much intraday kind of setups. I know some guys like gold, and they're long forever, and this how it is, but I think there's just so many better ETFs for you to trade. Why trade a commodity-based ETF like JNUG? All right. I know it gives you that 3 times leverage a lot of guys like, but there are many other ones that do just that and don't offer you, the kind of ups and downs that this has had all year. I mean, look at this chart. Why go long in JNUG when you could have, took an advantage of this, QQQ. I mean, why not something like that? And again, if you don't like QQQ, there are many other ETFs that have very similar trends that you can go long in. All right, SPY, DIA is another one. So there are a ton of other ETFs that have much better charts for you to play. There's no reason to trade garbage stocks here. Benny B, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, Benny B? What's that? I think I'm going to look through your chat room. BIVV. Biovertive. All right. Whoa, look at that. Nice gap up on what happened here back in early January. You had some kind of buyout up here. Again, too slow for me, man. I mean, 2-cent gain today. It's a large cap stock. Look, if you just got a shitload of cash and you're looking for something safe, obviously it's showing a very safe looking. But it looks looking at the chart here. Figure out what the story is on that one, man. But that's a big ass window, bro. So I'm thinking, did they either killed earnings or maybe somebody acquired them, because it looks like an acquisition of some sort, possibly somebody acquiring them or something. Okay, yeah, it's an acquisition. Okay, Biogen buying. All right, so this company's being bought out, man. So this is going to disappear in a while anyway. So, yeah, this company's being bought out, man. So there's no reason to look at that. Their company's being bought out, so that'll disappear anyway. So if you buy it now, you end up getting liquidated, and you'll just end up back in cash sooner or later. All right. AVP. Avon. Here's the thing about Avon, man. This generation doesn't buy Avon, dude. When was the last time you saw a woman under 30 buy Avon? You look at this company again, been struggling. Stock's lost over 50% of its value since the beginning of 2017. Somebody looks like it's betting on a turnaround, and somebody brought it up here. Let's take a look at the weekly. See some strength here. Do we see on the weekly? Okay. Obviously, this week has been pretty strong for the stock. The weekly actually looks a little bit more convincing than the daily. So what that means is, if you're going to go into AVP, don't even think about it if you're going in for anything less than 2 months. I wouldn't go into anything less than 2 months if you're going into AVP, because this is what the trend looks on the weekly. Day to day we pulled it up. It didn't look very pretty, but the weekly shows some signs of life here since November of last year. In AVP, but it's a long-term hold, and the trend is showing up on the weekly. Not so much on the daily yet, right? I mean, you see a little bit of a trend starting here, but we had to sell off, of course, last week market-wide. But you could have something developing here on AVP, but it's going to have to be a long-term hold for it. Yeah. It's been a minute since I've seen an Avon lady. It's been a minute since I've seen an Avon lady. All right. It's been a minute since I've seen an Avon lady. All right. So I'm going to be back. Let me see here. Let me show you guys that video. Some of you guys may have already seen it. Again, I put this out for a friend. I got 100 people in here, so let me go ahead and put this out to show. Should have did it at the beginning probably of the show, but let me put that out there for you guys real quick. Just a couple minutes, just a minute or two. Just watch it. Oh, no sound, no sound. Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. All right, am I back on? Thank you, thank you. I was talking about Strikeforce Technologies. Strikeforce Technologies. We pulling it up the chart here, following with somebody talking in the... Okay, all right, you guys scaring the shit out of me. Somebody was like, no, not again. Oh, man. Was that the African brother? You know. Every time the connection, when it ends, I just... Oh, my God. Lord. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Okay, all right. So, Strikeforce Technologies, again, crossing that 50 line, looking very positive right now. Multiple days gains there. It went a little bit too far for itself. Traders pulled it back. It's fighting with 1 cent a share here, so you might get a pullback tomorrow or so on the stock, but real nice to see that stock climbing back above the RSI 50 line. As you can see here, it's been depressed for quite some time, right? Broke behind underneath the 50 line and stayed negative for quite some time, and now he had a successful break. So let's see if it continues to go higher. All right, let's see if it continues to go higher. SFOR is the ticker. All right. What else? What else? What else? What else you guys looking at? Real quick, just one me two more tickers. We'll get you out of here. Yeah. OHGI. Yeah, I remember I got a call from one of them African brothers who liked the show. And, you know, it's so weird because sometimes, like, guys watch my show during the day and then they'll call my line. And I'm here at the computer, and sometimes if I'm free, I'll pick up. If I'm free and, you know, like, oh, my God, my nigga, free stock picks. Is my nigga free stock picks? Free stock picks, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, that's not my name, but okay. You know, shit. God damn. You know. Yeah, God damn, you're calling me free stock picks. OHGI. OHGI, 8.5% gain today. Another low RSI play. We just got done talking about that with bats. Nice little trade there. Doji candlestick followed up by, you know, confirmation of maybe some bullish momentum starting here. Very little downside risk here. As you can see here, there's some support at these levels in the past. We're just above it. But OHGI looks like a solid entry there. Not bad on the stock. I would go into that and see what happens. Again, use a stop loss as always, but you have very little downside risk as shown there on the chart. All right. AFSI. AFSI. AmTrust Financial Services. Never heard of them. Looks like a financial services firm. All right. Don't know too much about the company. Not a fan of that chart, though, my man. Not a fan of that chart. Daily looks like a mess. Let's go to the weekly. And weekly, all right. Here's another chart where sometimes you got to go further into the trend, man, than pulling up a weekly chart. And I see strength in a weekly. So that tells me if you're going to go into the stock, you're going to have to hold this stock for a significant amount of time, all right? The daily is not supporting bullish momentum on a day-to-day basis, but on a weekly chart, all right? So 7 days, we're seeing over the course of 7 days of trading, there is some kind of pattern that's being started here. And it started back there in November, and it's been holding relatively well, all right? So if this is going to be some kind of stair-step pattern, we're going to have to continue to see that build accordingly, all right? All right, so again, you know, if you're looking to hold it for 2 or 3 days, this chart is not showing that's going to look good for you. It's not showing it's going to look good for you. Blue Apron. We talked about Blue Apron. Shout out to Juan Diaz, called us about Blue Apron. And look, he explained everything that was wrong with Blue Apron. I know some of you guys took positions on that, man, based on what he talked about. And you're up because of that. So Blue Apron, 331. We had Juan come on the show. He told us everything that was wrong with Blue Apron, and you know why you know go in on any kind of bullish sentiment with it. He told us clear what was wrong with the stock. You know, got fake out here as the stock looked like it was trying to go above that 50. Unfortunately, got faked out here, and now looking to go back underneath the 50 moving or the 50 line on the RSI as that continues to show bearish momentum. All right. So as you can see here, the stock gets killed every time it gets below that confidently that 50 line. It gets really killed. It looks like a great short coming from these higher levels. I mean, this is a perfect for opportunity for somebody to short here. 10% upside protection, and you know, or maybe even just go ahead and buy some calls to protect yourself on the upside. But I think, you know, it could be retesting that 298, 299 support very soon. All right. ATRS. I see your Kodak, Lord Yase. ATRS up 18% today. Nice stock. I mean, this is. I mean, if you're gonna start talking about this stock testing that falling window, you might have something here. You know, if you're talking about a stock that's gonna test that, right? You're only 62 on that RSI. Find out what caused that unusual buying activity in today's stock. Again, the stock gapped up today, so 7 million shares traded. Average is only 1.3. So something brought in a lot of people today. Find out if that's going to stay above those levels. All right, find out if that's, you know, what's the story here driving it higher. But obviously, you know, you could encounter some resistance at 247. But if you have a successful break above this could look really nice. All right, this could look really nice for you. ATRS is the ticker, so I'm gonna keep that line up there for future purposes. But looking really healthy right now. Let's see if we can follow through up with more buying. All right, real quick, let's go to that Kodak line. KODK. You know, I'm not a fan of Kodak. It drove up some Bitcoin hype. I'm not surprised if this stock, at this point, they're probably buying back their stock. You know, when a lot of companies do this kind of activity where they come out, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. When a stock starts selling off, they may even buy their own shares just to keep it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if what you're seeing in Kodak now, it could be the company itself buying significant amount of its shares, unusual volume on the stock with little to no news. They came out with some update here on the Kodak coin, the cryptocurrency play that they announced. All right, so it's going to be some kind of website where you're going to change your dollars into the Kodak coin. Oh no, excuse me. Okay. So basically, what's going to happen is if you're a photographer and you want to sell rights to photos, you can be paid in Kodak coin. Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. Somebody's going to, I mean, because I'm getting variations of the story. Or I'll have to do some research on my own on Kodak. But regardless, it's bullshit all around. This is a company that's been a failure at everything it's done for the last 25 years, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think that's going to change. Yes, Fisher G. It's an old brand. It's an old, tired brand. They had their heyday in the 1950s to the 1970s. They were nowhere to be found when it came to digital cameras. They came out really, really late with a little bit of a partnership. And Sony, if you remember, they came out with their own little private line of cameras. It was too late to the party. Kodak should have been, I mean, instead of using the word JPEG, right, we should have been calling it Kodaks. I mean, that's how on top of the market they should have been when we talk about digital photography. But, you know, Microsoft created the JPEG, and that's what we call it. That's what we call it. AGEN. AGEN. Here's another one that doesn't look so hot on the daily. Doesn't look so hot on the weekly too, right? A lot of indecisiveness here on the weekly chart. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, they're talking about from October all the way to now. We're talking well over almost 6-7 months here. We're talking about a stock that's bounced from 334 to 421. That's a lot of wasted time. That's a lot of wasted time. A lot of stocks have moved a lot better than that. There's really no trend here, even on the daily. There's better charts out there. There's better charts out there. All right. Kodak said, "Yeah, Andrew, it's I wish the puts traded a lot. I've been watching the puts in Kodak, and they don't trade well because there's no volume, there's no real buying momentum there. I honestly would if somebody's got extra cash, right, and they don't mind being pushed against themselves a little bit, I would probably short the stock here. They're doing some funny business there with, of course, with the Kodak coin and whatnot, trying to keep themselves listed on the exchange, but eventually they're going to be looking at $1 here real soon. Yeah, all that ICO bullshit. We had a lady call up. Some of you guys maybe remember the call. She called up and she talked about ICOs. That's all a fucking scam. All that ICO is just a way, the airdrops and all that. It's just a way, again, it's a wealth transfer. It's a data scientist, computer geeks and nerds who have created this thing, this cryptocurrency, and they're packaging it with great websites, right? Because they're some of the best web developers out there. That's why all the cryptocurrency websites are clean, they're neat, they're well presented, buttons and everything. They look so fancy. They sell a great dream. You know, the ICO drops. Some of them, they just disappear with the cash, or the coin doesn't perform like it's supposed to. And it is what it is, you know. What happened to BitConnect X? You remember BitConnect X? It was a fucking joke. All these bullshit coins, man. And the thing about a lot of people on these cryptocurrencies is that they just fucking disappeared. They don't even want to be upfront about the kind of money they lost. You know, that's the thing that really pisses me off. You got guys who lost, you know, well over everything that they invested. And they don't even want to be upfront about the losses, man. They just disappear. But let Bitcoin come back to 15,000, they'll pop right the fuck back up, dude. They'll pop right the fuck back up. They'll be all over Twitter and all the social media websites. Hey, man, you need to get back into this Bitcoin. But now the stock is down, you're gone. You know? I'm going to get back to you, Alan Franklin, on that. I saw your email back at that you emailed me on. I'm going to definitely reply to that. Or Bitcoin 2X. Yeah, almost got fucked up in that. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, man. I've had a 2-hour show tonight. Let me go ahead and get y'all up out of here. Up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed Valentine's. I honestly, personally, I fucking hate Valentine's because I just bought her something for Christmas. So now, just a month, damn near a month later, I got to buy her something again. And it's just, and everybody, I was at Walmart, buying like a, shit for the bag and all that, little paper and all that. And, everybody's like buying shit. And I mean, I'm like, this is what, corporatocracy looks like when these companies create these fake holidays just to get people to buy shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's in there buying little fucking, chocolate and I'm just like, look at us, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at some of the men in line. I'm like, man, this is probably a guy who loves on his woman every single day. Don't need to even do this Valentine's Day bullshit. But because the pressure and the expectation, and some of these women, they act like, oh my God, it's Valentine's Day. What did you get me? Where did you get me? Big ass eyes. Did you get me something? For Valentine's Day? Are we going out to eat? Oh my God. And they wait for that shit. I don't mean to sound frustrated, but I remember just being a young man. You know what I mean? You got a nice girlfriend or whatever, and, you're tight on cash as it is. And then there's a bullshit holiday where you got to go into your pockets and spend money on some bullshit that you don't really give a fuck about. Sorry to cuss, but, on some soap or some, stuff that it's like, man, really? Crazy stuff, bro. Crazy stuff. All right, let me get you guys out of here. Great wrap up to the week. I know some of you guys have said you'd love a Friday show. I've been meaning to start a social justice channel. I don't, man, look, man, I'm not trying to change the world or anything, but I got some great views that I love to put out there. But, man, you know, my shit is too deep. People be getting in their feelings and everything, man. I can't stand that, man. I just be hitting people with the raw facts, you know. So I want to start a separate channel with that. I think I'm going to do that this weekend. Or no, you know, I think it's going to be a podcast. Because I don't even want to fuck with YouTube no more, man. I want it to be a podcast so I can just do it the way I want to do it, you know. So I want to make it a podcast. And I wouldn't even have to worry about, you know, the blocking and people trying to hit me and stuff. You can download it and listen to it on your own time and shit like that. 919, you're on the air. What's up, Bats?
Bad scientist here. Sal, I need your opinion, man. I look to you for everything, man. What's your opinion? Okay, so Black Panther's coming out tomorrow. Yeah. What do you say? Watch it, support our brothers and sisters. Please, I need guidance because I'm conflicted in multiple directions.
Look, man.
What's your suggestion?
I'm all about, I like the Black Panther thing, but when these folks are out here trying to sell me the idea that a fake, made-up African nation that doesn't exist in Africa is somehow equivalent to reparations, that's when I get pissed off. You know what I mean? That's going too far. I'm seeing guys here talking about dashikis and stuff like this. There was a picture my girlfriend sent me with one of her girlfriends. They got guys who are dressing like the King of Zamunda going to the movies, man, going to see this movie. I'm serious. Let me see if y'all got a minute. If y'all got a minute, I'll post up the picture. Yes, this fool is dressed like the King of Zamunda. Gmail.com. Let me see if I can. So that's when I start, you know, they're talking about dressing up in dashikis and doing all kind of foolishness, man. And people don't understand. This is just another wealth transfer, man. You know, it's just another wealth transfer. They're going to make maybe they're saying over $1 billion could be made on this movie. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but Sal, you and I don't know. Okay, maybe you haven't. I know I have. Superheroes growing up, good stuff.
Let me show you.
We've watched all these other, you know, shows where maybe ethnically it's been one-sided. Let's put it that way, because I don't want to get you canceled again.
Okay.
And if we can do that, we can watch Neo do his stuff on the Matrix. We can watch, you know, Captain America. We can watch Iron Man. I'm just saying, man, like for people of color, can we support the show? Because there was a tweet I tweeted a while back.
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying. I like the movie because you know, and that is where you kind of get me. But I mean, make the story a little bit more believable. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
It's gotten good reviews, though. It's gotten raving reviews, though. And the one part I don't like about it is that, yes, we've got African Americans. African Americans are as African as Africans are, but I think I counted maybe 2 or 3 that are actually from Africa. Maybe they were born somewhere else, but that's besides the point, and that's, you know, that's more like a boys in the hood thing where, listen, we're supporting our people. An all-black cast, man, this is, for me, man, I love this stuff. And I think I tweeted, and obviously Wesley Snipes didn't respond like he knows me. And I said, I loved Blade, but I think this movie is going to do damage, just like Get Out, you know, Jordan Peele's movie Get Out.
Yeah.
I think this will have a long-lasting impression. And, yeah, I just wanted to get your take on that. if we can watch any of those other blockbuster movies, we gotta give money to this. And I don't like the way like media or advertising agencies have told us, okay, this is the acceptable movie to watch.
Yeah,
go to this movie.
Again, Bats, go enjoy the movie. Take your children there, enjoy it, have a great time. But we cannot allow people to sell this movie as reparations. We cannot allow, even as Africans, myself and yourself, we cannot allow this movie to be used as, oh, look, we gave the black people something, the descendant of slaves. They're owed way more than a fucking movie based on, a made up African character. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's a tough call because if we can watch any other movie, why can't we? Anyway, my call on this, if I'm reading this like a chart, this movie is gonna kick butt.
Yes.
And,
absolutely.
just having all those people of color in a movie and representing, man, I'm just humbled. Regardless of what the underlinings or the undertone is on this, we have to support these guys.
Absolutely.
And, sorry, Sal, I thought I'd bring that up because that's tomorrow. And I've been looking at the trailers. We've had Donald Trump talking about Nambia when he was referring to Namibia. We've got Wakanda. So even on my Twitter, I'm from a S-hole country between Nambia and Wakanda.
Right.
Anyway, thank you, Sal. Thank you. I appreciate your opinion.
I appreciate you, Bats. I appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you so much, Bat Scientist, for the call. And what's going to happen tomorrow is that we're going to have millions of black children who are going to know about Wakanda, but not going to know about Ghana, but don't know about Zimbabwe, don't know about South Africa, don't know about Nigeria, don't know about the Congo, don't know about Egypt, don't know about Morocco. But they're going to know about Wakanda. You see what I'm saying? So enjoy the movie. Let it be a time to come together as a family or your friends or whatever. But understand that there's some real, changes that have to be made when we talk about, making real reparations, to the damage that has been done, to African Americans in this country, man, in terms of the education system. All right. All right, so I know I saw a little thing where they want 25% should go to Africa. No, they ain't going to do that shit. This is a business. It's about making money. They're not going to do that shit. They might give a few scholarships here and there, but you already know it's going to go to some coon-ass nigga that's going to go to Harvard and pipe down Becky. So, I don't even know why y'all asking for that shit. Let me get out of here before I get myself into some trouble. Again, look out for that podcast, man, because like I said, I feel like when it comes to social issues, I put things in a certain way that I think people like when they listen to. Man, it's a little bit of a different spin, and I want to put it in a podcast because I don't even want to fuck with YouTube and shit. Y'all can post it on YouTube if you want, but I ain't got time for that, man. All right, I'm gonna work on that this weekend, and it's so funny he brought up Black Panther because that's some of the things I want to talk about. And we got this fool here showed up as Prince Hakeem at the movie. Now that's probably just fun, you know what I mean? He's just probably having a good time. But that's kind of the delirium sometimes, I think. Some of us are out there doing, man. We out here really getting a little bit too into it, man. A little bit too into it. All right. He said, am I leaving YouTube? No, my show is on YouTube. I'll never leave YouTube. But when I start talking about my page on particularly social justice issues, I don't want to be on YouTube when I start talking like, because you can't keep it a buck on YouTube when it comes to those kind of issues. All right. We're going to keep it straight about stocks here on the show. But on those issues, I want to be able to be free to speak how I want to speak. All right, let me go ahead and ring the bell. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy week. I lost my channel. I got it back. Man, these fools coming after your boy, man. They try to come after your boy this week. Took my channel, gave it back. It is what it is, man. You know, they already know what this is going to be. I can't even wait to see what, you know, this is all going to turn up to. I'm just taking it day to day, one show at a time. All right? That's all I'm doing, man. I'm trading, building my little website. I got a new website coming out, too, by the way. I just got from Alibaba. I just got a couple hundred of these glasses from Alibaba. They're computer glasses. I got them for like 50 cents each. And I'm going to be selling them for like $4.50, $5. They help like for straining on your eyes. And I'm building a website around these now too. So you're going to see that website, and I'll put an ad for that on my channel. But anyway, to hustle, man. Just trying to hustle, man. Make this internet paper, bro. You know, them folks ain't trying to pay a nigga nothing, man. So you got to do it on your own, dude. You know, I tried the 9-to-5 thing, man. They scared of me. Scared of me, dude. I tried it, bro. I go in the office, I'm pulling out major moves. I don't talk to supervisors. I'm talking to the supervisor. They don't like me. I'm trying to get it popping if you bring me into an office. You know, first day on the job, I'm trying to figure out how can I move up to the executive suite. You know, a lot of supervisors, they don't like employees like that, you know. So I got to do it on my own. Thank you so much. One Day Casa, Moneybag, Stock Z, Fisher G, Londell Carter, Blue Cousin, Moneybags, Profit 127, Bad Scientist, all my callers, Ja Warrior, what's up, man? A little late to the show. Jim Gray, Benny B, Andrew Gladness, M1 Gunner, John Drank, King Musa, Seymour, Post Office Joe, Shirley Lewis, Lord Yase, all the people, Bundle Up, Gucci, everybody who was on the show. You know who you are, who watched me. I appreciate every single one of you. Go enjoy Black Panther, but please don't come out of the movie thinking that was reparations. Please, that is not reparations. That's a good movie, a cartoon movie based off of fictional African society that does not exist. Because that Wakanda was destroyed because of colonialism and many other things, all right? You got to be smart. It's your boy Sal, man. I'm out of here. Take care, everyone. Happy trading.